Resolution number 22-920, in the matter of adjourning out of executive session.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion, vote.
Vote on motion 22-920. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill? Resolution number 22-921. And final hearing for the Villas at Maple Creek Watershed Drainage Improvement Project.
So moved.
Second. Discussion, vote.
Vote on motion 22-921. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Resolution number 22-922. In the matter of approving for a specific occurrence, a suspension of Rule 3, speaker registration, Rule 4, limitations, and Rule 7, public comment procedures from rules governing public comment before the Board of County Commissioners of Delaware County, Ohio.
So moved. Second.
Discussion, vote.
Vote on motion 22-922. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Okay, welcome everyone to the final hearing for the consideration of the Villas at Maple Creek Drainage Improvement Petition. There's a sign-in sheet circulating around, and we ask that everyone sign in. And this is a review of what will happen today. We will hear a summary of the final hearing report from the county engineer and Soil and Water Conservation District. The county engineer and Soil and Water Conservation District will then cover a presentation on the project. This presentation will include additional maps, current photos, photos of the path of proposed construction, and pictures of similar construction to better illustrate what is being proposed. This presentation will also include a sample amortization of a construction assessment to illustrate what an 8-year repayment may look like, an explanation of maintenance assessments, and an illustration of what a percentage collection means. Copies of the county engineer's report and draft of the presentation overview of the project, including a map, were mailed to landowners, so you will be able to follow along. Following the presentation, there will be a time for questions from the Board of Commissioners. After questions, there will be time for testimony from landowners, and during testimony, or right before testimony actually, you will be asked to take an oath. Those speaking for or against the project must be either an owner, as defined in section 6131.01 of the Ohio Revised Code, or an attorney speaking on behalf of an owner. Testimony will continue if new information comes up or additional people wish to speak. After testimony, the board will close the public hearing. The board considers the following in their decision: whether the board hereby finds that the proposed improvement is necessary, that it will be constructive to the public welfare, or the board also finds that it is reasonably certain that the cost of the proposed improvement will be less than a benefit, actually. And at this time, I would like to call Brent Bury to the stand and to give his report.
Good morning, Commissioners. Brett Bacon, Delaware Soil and Water Conservation District. I have a very brief presentation on this project, and I'd be happy to answer any questions the board may have. The Villas at Maple Creek condo petition was filed on December 6, 2019 by the Villas at Maple Creek Condo Association. On June 30th, 2020, the view was held. On April 23rd, I have a date wrong.
Yeah, it's 21.
That's what I think it was January 30th, wasn't it? What was the date of the view, Jennifer?
Yeah, I thought it was January.
I think it's January. Yes. Sorry about that, Commissioners. We'll verify that real quick
I think it says in
in the report.
January 30th.
Okay, January 30th, 2020, the view was held. I do remember it was cold. April 23rd, 2020, the first hearing was opened and continued due to COVID, and then August 27th, 2020, the first hearing was completed. The petition specifically asks, in Delaware County, Genoa, and Orange Townships, in the Villas at Maple Creek condominium, generally following the course and terrain of the existing flood control improvements, to replace, repair, or alter the existing improvements as required, and to maintain these improvements per the associated engineering drawings. You can see the overview of the condo here. The condo was originally platted in 2003. There are 152 units in the condo, and the petition was signed by 5 individuals representing 5 separate units. Here's the Exhibit C for the project, showing what is to be placed on maintenance and existing structures that are not to be placed on maintenance. The existing stormwater system was inspected by the Soil and Water Conservation District and generally found to be installed and functioning per the original engineering plans. We did identify several areas that will require minor repairs once we have, assuming the board approves the project and it goes on to maintenance. There is erosion control placement that we identified that would be needed on the back slope of the levee for pond number 3. This would be the pond out by Worthington Road. I will note on this bullet point specifically, the condo has undertaken some work to lower the water level of that pond. We believe that where the water level is at now is where it was seeping through the levee before. So this work may not be necessary. We will monitor this, and if it's not work that needs to be done, we won't expend funds for that. If it does present a problem, then we are prepared to deal with it. There's a catch basin structure in detention basin number 1 that requires settlement and mortar repairs. There's a good section of storm pipe that needs to be jet cleaned out to remove gravel and debris, and there's rock channel protection needed at the outlet head wall for detention basin number 1, and some clearing and snagging work that will need to be done. The estimated current value of the original improvements is $183,088.98. The per property share based on the 152 units of this original value is $1,204.53. And again, we are not proposing any initial construction to be necessary for this project. Therefore, there is no construction assessment proposed. The estimated cost of our repair work, the bullet points that I identified there, is $8,500. To cover this, we're proposing an initial maintenance assessment of 5%, and this would produce a proposed initial per property annual assessment of $60.23. The decisions before the board today, you can approve the project in whole or deny the project in whole. If the decision is to deny, it is recommended to distribute costs incurred to this point to the landowners in the same ratio as determined by the final schedule of assessments, and those estimated costs would be $2,100. The engineer's recommendation. Based on all of the information gathered for this petition request, I believe the project should proceed. It is my opinion that the benefits of the proposed petition exceed the estimated maintenance costs and would be conducive to the public welfare.
Okay, any questions from the commissioners?
Yeah, Brett, I had a question for you.
Yeah.
In the original, or the first hearing report, we had a construction estimate of $85,000, I believe. What made you determine that that could be reduced by 90%?
Excellent question. We were anticipating initially of having to completely rebuild the levee structures for the Worthington Road Pond and the Africa Road Pond through, the work that we do in between the first and second hearings. We determined that to not be necessary, and so those costs are eliminated.
What happens if during the construction you find out that's not the case and you have to do that? What happens?
I would certainly not anticipate that being the case. I think the issues that we were anticipating were a problem at the first hearing. It just have made the determination that does not appear to be a problem.
So you're very confident?
Yes. If that would be, become necessary, then I would call that, it would be an emergency situation. And like any project on maintenance, certainly there could be some catastrophic failure. We have funds in the overall drainage maintenance fund where we would be able to go in and make a repair, and then obviously the assessments might need to go up for some period of time to cover that and replenish the maintenance fund.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, we will take any testimony from any of the landowners, and we will begin with testimony for the project. Is there anyone wishing to speak for the project? And sir, I will swear you in. Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Thank you.
I'm Gary Kane. I'm the president of the association, and I am for this proposal. We've had issues on getting folks out to help us with ponds, and we certainly believe putting it under the county. You guys are professionals and will be able to help us out in the future.
Okay. Garrett, could you just give us your address, please?
7588 Red Maple Place, Westerville, Ohio.
Okay. Any questions? No? No questions. Thank you, sir. Is there anyone else willing to speak in favor of the project? Is there anyone wishing to speak in opposition to the project? Anyone else wishing to speak in opposition? I see none.
I would ask that we close the hearing.
Resolution number 22-923, in the matter of closing the public hearing to address the Villas at Maple Creek Drainage Improvement Project.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion, vote.
Vote on motion 22-923, Mr. Merrill.
Aye.
Mr. Benton.
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis.
Aye.
And I would ask that we read the motion in favor of the improvements.
Resolution number 22-924, in the matter of finding in favor of the improvement and affirming the order for the Villas at Maple Creek Watershed Drainage Improvement Project.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
I just make the comment that based on the testimony and the support from the association testimony we heard today, that I find this project necessary, good for the public welfare, and its cost will be less than the benefits received. So with that, I support it.
Yeah, I also do support it and know that the soil and water folks who maintain 600 or so, ditches around the county do an excellent job, and I'm sure they'll do an excellent job overseeing the villas at Maple Creek maintenance
Yes.
project, so.
I support it too for those reasons. Vote, please.
Vote on motion 22-924, Mrs. Lewis.
Aye.
Mr. Merrill.
Aye.
Mr. Benton.
Aye.
Resolution number 22-925, in the matter of Commissioners confirming the assessment, approving payment schedule, and ordering the letting of contracts for the Villas at Maple Creek Watershed Drainage Improvement Project.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Vote.
Vote on motion 22-925, Mrs. Lewis.
Aye.
Mr. Merrill.
Aye.
Mr. Benton.
Aye.
All right. The hearing is closed, and